Hello friends, it's Kristie Marcotte. Today I'm sharing some cards I made using Paper Rose Studios Sweet Plaids 6x6 paper collection. If you love plaid designs, this collection is perfect. I love all the fun spring colors that are included. I'll also be using a stencil from Paper Rose. This is their half-tone design. It's a 6x6 inch stencil. I'll be using a mini stencil mat. So I have my stencil and also a small piece of white cardstock. I'll lay the piece of cardstock on the mat first, shifting it about 1/2 inch from that border. And what's nice about this mat, you can line up the edges of your stencil right against those grooves and it doesn't move. I'm using the 16 Candles color from Catherine Pooler. I'll just start adding some ink onto that white cardstock piece. I want the color darker in the center and going softer out toward the edges. And I can easily lift up the stencil, take a peek, and see if I need to add any more color. I will be using a card sketch for inspiration. This is from Sugar Pea Designs. It's Sugar Sketch number 41. Using the ink that was left on the brush, I did add a very light coat on top of my little stencil piece. I also rounded the corners using my corner chomper. I'll put some ATG tape on the back and layer this piece on some dark purple cardstock. For the background of my card, I selected this beautiful plaid pattern paper. I love the vibrant colors. I'll layer the pattern paper on the same dark purple cardstock. Then I'll put my card front onto a card base. And all of my cards in this video are American Standard A2 size, 4 1/4 inches by 5 1/2 inches. I love the look of plaid papers, but sometimes it's hard to mix in other pattern papers without it looking too busy. That's why I decided to use the stencil and create my own pattern paper for that large square element. For the sentiment on my card, I'm using Paper Rose's Really Rainbow Sentiment Sheets. I selected just the purple sentiment. This is "You Are the Sweetest." I cut a fishtail on the right side and I'll adhere this to the card using some liquid adhesive. Next I'll add some die cut images. I'm using Paper Rose's Zara Flower die set. There are 3 different sizes of the flower and also the very center piece. I cut these out from some purple cardstock that has a pearlescent finish on it. And just to add a little dimension to the flower, I did curl up all of those petals with my fingers. Just layered all those 3 pieces together using liquid adhesive. And I'll be adding 2 of the flowers to my card. So I have the larger flower with the 3 pieces and then a smaller flower using just 2 of those die cut pieces. I decided not to use the small die for the center of the flowers. So I'll glue both of those in place above the sentiment. Then using the little Foliage number 2 die set, I cut out several of these little berry branches. I'll add a drop of liquid adhesive to the very end of the branch and tuck them in behind the petals of the flowers. And I am trimming down these berry branches. I don't think I used any of the full pieces at all. There are other foliage dies, but this is one of my favorites. I think it looks beautiful with all of the flowers. I keep cutting apart the branches, adding a little bit of glue and tucking them in behind the flower until I'm happy with that overall look. I'm adding the majority of the branches above that large flower on the left side. And I did speed this portion up quite a bit, just lots of cutting and gluing. So I had just one more little branch underneath the flower on the left. Then for a final finishing touch, I'm using Paper Rose's clear crystals. I'll add a large crystal to the center of the largest flower, a medium crystal to the smaller flower, and then I'll put just a few other crystals around the sentiment and images. Using an embellishment wand to pick those up, adding just a small drop of liquid adhesive. And this glue will dry clear, so it won't have that milky white look behind it. So there is my finished card. I did make a total of 3 2 of the cards I used the same sentiment, and for that third card I brought in sending hugs since the sentiment pack only has 2 each of all of the sentiments. I did have to change the location of the flowers simply because the sending hug sentiment is a little bit shorter. If you are interested in any of the products I used in this video, I do have links provided in the description box below. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.